Actually, what a philosopher looks like or what they wear, it doesn't matter. A brilliant mind already makes them magnetic enough. If some strange aura of wisdom and melancholy, suddenly even a Ryko coat becomes sexier than a Gucci coat. Honestly, it's unfair, but still, what did they wear? First on our stage, welcome the Grand Greeks. At first glance, it's just a piece of cloth. In truth, it's an absolute civilization folded in a body. For the rich guys wearing it a group project, you need a savant to wrap and fold it just right. Then you had to walk carefully, no bumping into people, or the folds would collapse. Wait, are you telling me those folds were fashion? Yes, it's called Himation, 4 or 5 meters of fabric, wrap, drape, fold. Philosophers need the savants to manage their folds, just like ideas sometimes need students to manage the jargon. The Greeks didn't only invent democracy, they invented something like freedom is not nakedness. Freedom is wrapping a piece of cloth to look like freedom. And by the way, the Stoics prefer an even simpler look. Less is more was not cheap, it was expensive self-control. Jump forward to the Middle Age. In that era, Christianity ruled Europe, and it ruled clothing too. In early times, clothes were plain, commoners and nobles wore almost the same. But in 14th and 15th, things start to change to glossy. Yes, it was all saffron. No joking, some men had rows of buttons or gems, not only undercoats, but even under delicate underwear. Descartes divided the world into I think and everything else. Clothes followed, reason on the inside, respectability on the outside. David Hume, born into nobility, loved luxurious buttons. A man who wrote about the quantity theory of money, basically lived as gold standard himself. A button is like small-scale metaphysics. 2 pieces of fabric held together by one point. It's very empiricist. It implies you can doubt everything, but at least button your shirt. Okay, more closer to us. The existentialist team. This is 2 men who molded the hearts of countless girls. Albert Camus. Strictly speaking, he's not exactly a philosopher, maybe a novelist, an essayist, a political writer. He wrote about everything: literature, philosophy, politics, reflections on human fate, plants, landscapes, travel notes. In Notebook 7, he listed his 10 favorite words. World, pen, land, mother, man, desert, honor, poverty, summer, sea. Never mind, he was just handsome anyway. Smoking, thinking, watching. In that stiff, sharp suit, his shoulders squared like a box frame. He looked tall and commanding. I mean, a man ruthless in the world, but with a collar that always had edges. Another star is Jean-Paul Sartre. Also loved the trench coat. I admit when he was frowning, thought hot somehow. Some people always called him ugly, but that didn't stop him from having a long list of lovers. Doesn't that prove existentialism itself? You don't need to be beautiful, meaning doesn't need to exist, but we can still wear it together. A trench coat is a ritual, a cigarette is a comma, a stare is an ellipsis. Since we're already here, let's talk about this guy's first published work, Beauvoir, Fever, as known as nausea, but Beauvoir here is a woman. Just an association based on the similarity of pronunciation between her last name, Simone de Beauvoir. A word game among French lovers. They were also the world's famous open marriage, even the phrase only became popular later in the 1970s. But their relationship in 30s was already the most famous case. Beauvoir was his necessary love. Other lovers were contingent loves. Spirit, permanent, body, negotiable. Sartre treated it as an existential experiment. Human and free relationships should not be caged by rules, but you are responsible for your choices. Fashion note from Existentialism: when the world is absurd, keep your cut steady. Beauvoir was a big name in feminism and existentialist ideas, both of France's 2 presidents. Mitterrand and Chirac regarded her talent and achievements as a pride of France. In The Second Sex, she talks about why women dress the way they do. It's not just about looking good for men. Women dress to show their place in society, think wealth or class, but also to feel good about themselves. In other words, twofold significance. It is meant to show the woman's social standing, but at the same time it concretized feminine narcissism. Herself, she could wear an old shawl through the heels or conquer Paris with only one scarf. Basically, that scarf was doing influencer fashion before Instagram was even a spoil sale. Yes, she was also kind of young people hiking in Europe. This video we won't talk too much about her later, an issue more specific. For a woman, it's just because when you don't depend on appearances, appearances start depending on you. Another queen on it, Hannah Arendt. As a young woman, pure lady style, pearls, neat blouse, buried. Later she shifted, pinstripe suits, heavy jewelry, yes still pearls. Her wardrobe mirrored her politics somehow, shifting from the private to the public. And in public, you need clarity. Suits and pearls become punctuation marks for authority. At this point, let's stop for a while. Philosophers are often the people who know the rules of the world best. They argue about existence, truth, and freedom. So logically, they know about dressing, because clothes are also a text, a symbol system, a kind of social grammar. Pierre Bourdieu said taste is the outer shape of social habitus. Even if we discuss it from psychological perspective, what we call the enclosed cognition. Clothing can change attention and behavior. What you wear changes how you act and focus. Rational people can use clothing as a micro-adjustment. So you see extremes. Rather, using a suit as a semantics. Reason walks into a room before he does. Baudrillard or Zizek refusing the fashion game, showing up in pure classic, casual wear, big t-shirts saying, my ideas matter more than you tailoring, or maybe the third way. Wittgenstein, born richer than most countries, but lived like a monk, teaching children, cutting down language, and cutting down his wardrobe with it. To wrap up, Greek team would say, one cloth can cover both shame and pride. Medieval team would say, a button is compromise. Reason is buttoning the world shut. Existentialists would say, a trench coat carries not wind, but doubt. Women would say, where your subjectivity and gender itself will be recut. Or postmodernists said, when everything is a symbol, the plainest look is the sharpest blade. So, forget fashion, forget OOTD something. The truth is, live long enough, you will have your own style. As I say, live long enough, you will become the philosopher. Because philosophy is a practice of living. Erik Erikson called the final stage of human integrity versus disappear. Its gift is wisdom, not knowing everything, but making peace with uncertainty. So it's Joya. Thank you for your time of watching this boring stuff. In case you are wondering what I'm doing here, I have making like a dozen videos about these things, philosophy. Some I uploaded, some I didn't, but all of them flopped. Then one day, I asked one of my philo friends to give me some advice, some feedbacks. She told me the next day, hey, I finished all your things in last night. Oh my God, I said, wow, that was really touching. What she said is, your topic is cool, but literally admit in your own videos that philosophy is boring. The collection of philo or the history of a Western philo, and I finished that book. So why not mix it with something like pop culture, fashion, event, politics? Because philosophy is something you can talk about anything. Then I'm just like, oh, you're right. And well, I'm a pretty obedient person. Plus that was solid feedback. So I'm gonna open a new channel. It will be called how about Curious Baby? And you are all the curious babies. Just no more explanation. I'll do that first, then make improvement. Just like nothing serious. Hey. Whoa, hey, you wanna join us? Just curious. Ah, cool. And see what happened.